Alrighty. Hello everyone, Eureka Forsyth here, reporting in, and today I will be doing a stream talking about all of my anticipated reads for 2026. Let me just do a check-in on my audio to make sure everything sounds right. So give me a few seconds, and I will be right back. Alrighty, I think I just need to adjust my mic because I still sound a little far away. I think this should be okay. Let me check again. Give me a few seconds. Alrighty, I think that should be good. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well today. I am doing pretty fine. Just a little bit worried because there's a winter storm that is about to hit where I live, and unfortunately we're kind of in the danger zone of it all, so hopefully things will be alright. But yeah, without further ado, I think I will just get into the meat of it. Oh crap, okay. Wait a sec, I didn't put all the books in to my sources. Okay, I should do that really quick. Okay, probably need to pull up this will be a little bit of a spoiler for the reads that I will be tuning into eventually this year. Yeah, please let me know what are your most anticipated reads. I would I just lost my train of thought. I would really like to know. There we go. It's pretty big, but there we go. Oh, I thought I hit it. There we go. Okay, next book. Crap. Wait, what was it actually? Yep. Was it not a compatible? Dang it, I think I need a exactly the file type was for this. Oh, okay. Let me just look it up. A little bit low energy. Oh, this is the... Is this the US edition? Huh, this looks really different from the covers that I've seen. I guess it is. I wonder which edition the green one is. This one has like a blue and yellow color scheme to it. Wow. Okay. What the heck? Now I'm kind of curious. Okay, Berkeley. Publishing. Yeah, this is still American publishing house. What the? Penguin, Del Rey, Random House UK. The heck? Thistlemarsh US cover. Hey, what's the one they have? Okay, it is the... Oh well. I already saved the alternate cover. Interesting. It doesn't specifically say that it's the UK cover, so I'm a little bit confused. But yeah, this is the one. Why did I... Oh, I grabbed this from the Amazon listing. Excuse me, that's covering my model. Okay, maybe I'll make it a little smaller. There we go. Wait. Oh, the file type didn't work. Okay, hide that. Excuse me for this little bit of unpreparedness. Okay, next book. I guess this is a little bit of a ASMR kind of session then. Loud keyboard. Wait, is this file type not compatible too? Oh boy, okay. No. Oh, I was looking at it's also the title. Whoops. Go back to the settings. Yeah, okay, cool. Here's the... Whoa, what's going on in my model? There we go. Next. I forgot what the title was again. Okay. This one is the one with the longish horror title. There we go. unexpectedly, every time I read this title, I kind of laugh a little bit. I know it's not meant to be. Maybe it is meant to be a little bit funny, but yeah. Talk about that later when I bring it up. Okay, next one. What's the title? Okay. This one's design is a little bit odd. I'll talk about it more when I get to this book. I thought there was something wrong. Maybe it was just printed weird or something, but every what is it? If I knew how to snap well, I would be snapping my fingers now, but yeah, like the formatting of Japanese and Japanese Gothic is a little bit weird. I'm not sure if they meant to do it on purpose or not, but yeah, it looks kind of odd. Kind of a weird design choice, in my opinion, but I'll talk more into it because I talk about the covers for every title after I read the description and stuff. Okay. This one. Shoot. Might not. Did I not save? Oh, it's another TIFF. Okay, I'll just look for the handy dandy cover place that I usually look for. Thankfully, the title for this book is really short. Wait, it has... Oh, shoot, my mic... There might be some trouble with my mic. Oh, crap. Wait. Let me double check. What the heck? Okay, the green light is still on. It still seems like it's fine. Ooh, I wonder. A few seconds ago. Oh, there might be some audio that got cut off then. That's kind of annoying. I don't know why it did that though. I should have a pretty good connection with my mic. Oh well. Hopefully. I'll have to look back in the VOD and see where the audio got cut off. Okay, let me put in the title. Okay, now it works. Right here. Make it a little smaller. Yeah, that should be good. Hide it. What's next? Wait, did I actually save? Oh, I didn't even save a picture of this. Crap. Yep, I totally forgot. Whoops. just saved it now. Let me make sure the file actually works. Nope. Okay. There we go. What the heck did I just click? Oh no. Okay. Oh, I was just resizing my sources. Oh, what is... There is some weird laggage going on with my model. It was doing that the last time I streamed too. Oh dang. Okay. There we go. Apologies. Let me try to think of something to talk about while I put in the pictures for the books. I was really lucky. I remembered that... Well, I didn't not remember. Why did I word it like that? I ordered a book and I didn't think it was going to come this weekend because the arrival date said that it would come on Tuesday, because probably anticipating the winter storm that's about to arrive. But I woke up and then I immediately checked my phone, which probably isn't the best habit to do when you wake up right in the morning. But I was just like, alright, let's see what the status is of where my book is located. And it said, just kidding, your book is going to arrive today and it will arrive sometime in the morning. But then the arrival time kind of changed and it said like, just kidding again, your book is going to arrive sometime in the afternoon. I was like, okay, I'll wait and see. And then I had to do chores and stuff and I forgot about it for a little bit. Checked my phone again and then it's like the green coloring saying that it's in the mailbox. It's like, your book has been delivered. So I quickly went out and got it, and it was... Actually get it. Got it in hardback because I guess it's... I'm kind of surprised because this is a translated work. I talked about it in my last stream too, but yeah, this was actually a last minute addition to my most anticipated list, and it's about a place in the Kinki region by Sesuji. And there was like a lot of buzz around this book on BookTwitter, which was actually how I discovered this book in the first place, which is really cool. I was really convinced because the first post that I saw about this book saying that it scared the person so much that they had to sleep with the lights on. No. I'm projecting. That's me when I watch a scary horror movie. I have to sleep with the lights on. Actually, the person said they couldn't sleep at night because it was more scary than they thought the book would be. So I was like, well, if it's a book that keeps people up at night, I gotta check this book out. And then I thought this was only exclusive to the Indonesian version, but I found out when I look to the back of the book, there is a section you can tear out, and it's labeled source materials. I got kind of chills looking at that because I don't know. It's a fictional piece of work, but I'm just like, oh, that's what am I going to find when I open that section up after I finish reading this? It's a pretty, I think it's 358 pages, so a pretty average amount of books pages for a book. So what page am I on? I read a little bit of it. Okay, there's no number on this. Okay, I'm on page 33. I'm really enjoying it so far. At first, I guess it's maybe I should wait until I get to when I'm actually talking about this book. But since I'm talking about it now, I guess I can kind of say it. I don't want to say anything spoilery, but the first short story that you read, the subject matter, I guess, kind of made me roll my eyes a little bit. I was like, okay, so I guess we're starting off this horror story like this, but then it actually kind of I got like a really chilling feeling once I finished the short story. So I was like, okay, actually this is kind of scary. So it still worked out, even though it was kind of like, I was like, okay, but it still worked out in the end. Okay, what's the next book? Okay, this book doesn't have a cover, so I need to make sure that I don't forget about it. But this next book has a confirmed cover. Let's make sure that I have the right formatting for this book. I think so. Yes, okay, good. Put it right there. Excuse me. I needed to burp, but it just went back down my throat, which is, I guess, kind of gross, saying it like that. Okay. Oh, I need to temporarily hide it. There we go. I think this is the next book. Yep, and the formatting works. Nice. Here. Oh. There we go. Is it because am I not positioning my phone right? Okay, now it seems like my model is moving more accurately. Okay, this is the next one. Okay, awesome. Whoa, this is a really big file. Had to mute for a little bit. Oh, nice. I already have this saved. It's an S title. Put this book in my thumbnail, so I guess that's not really much of a spoiler. Whoop. There we go. What else? What else? Bunch. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 more titles, and then I can actually get to chatting about these books. Let me put that book away. Another book that I just decided to pick up on a whim is the first book in a trilogy, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I don't really read YA much nowadays, and I try to limit the amount of YA I read too, because I feel like I've kind of outgrown that genre. But there are some exceptions, and The Cruel Prince is really, really good. I saw a post on Twitter about like a a romantic section that happens in the sequel, which is it the Wicked King, I believe. I have a physical copy of The Cruel Prince, and yeah, I'm pretty much flying through that book. It's so good. The only thing I regret is that I wish I could have finished it sooner. I'm almost finished reading it, so I'll probably be moving on and reading The Wicked King sometime in the near future, and I'll be borrowing an ebook from my local library as well. There is an audiobook version for the sequel and the third book, but I think I will probably continue reading it in ebook format. Gosh, I am so bad at multitasking. What is the next? Okay. Let's hope whoop! I put in a title. Okay. Nice. This works. Make it just a little bit smaller. Okay, that looks nice. Have this saved as well. Title was another the title. Oh wow, file I say for this is small. Put that there. There we go. Whoops. Okay, what is the next book? Definitely going to be reading this next book through audiobook, even though I think I read most of the books through audiobook, but one of my favorite audiobook narrators reads this book, so of course I have to check it out specifically for this book. He did a really good job reading one of my favorite books, I think 2023. It was Flux. so I feel like I'm going to enjoy him narrating this book as well. City of Others by Jared Poon. Okay. What else? This one. I think this is one of the ones I'm debating. Oh crap. No. Wait. Ah, another tiff. Okay. Gotta save it again. Yesterday book. Okay. Yep. This seems to be the US edition, I believe. There we go. New. Make it a little bit smaller. Oh, nice. Just right, good. Okay, got rid of the one that wasn't working. I think I have a few more. What the heck is this title? Okay. Okay, cool. That works. What else? I was just listening to one of my favorite new bands called Glamscure. I think I just realized that I think their name is a pun on the word obscure, but with glam in front, which is pretty cool. Thinking of probably buying some physical merch from them, but I'm still going through their discography to see which I think they sell their music in CD format, and I don't think they sell vinyls. I'm kind of curious what the opinion of what Japanese fans in particular think of vinyls, because I was really surprised that I didn't see any vinyl listings in their merch section on their website. I guess CDs are more popular. I guess a little bit old-fashioned. I guess. Then I'm wondering if CD players are still much of a thing there. I don't know. I would think most people probably stream through their, I guess, their preferred digital streaming platform for music, like Spotify or Apple Music. When I was looking at FF14 stuff, they have like specific listings. I think it's specifically Japanese music streaming platforms. I don't know the names because it was written in Japanese and they were listed near the bottom. So like Apple Music and Spotify were the ones first, and then there was something else that was in English, and then there were two music streaming platforms that were in Japanese. I was like, oh cool, I've never heard of these platforms before. So I wonder if their music is on there too, but they're... Actually, I'm not sure if they're indie or not. Obscure. I'm gonna look at the Visual Kei encyclopedia. Okay, they are part of a label, so... So would they be considered indie? I'm not a expert on music stuff, music industry related things. They're signed with Front Swamp Records. Interesting. I'm guessing they're still indie. Yeah, they're they're labeled on the wiki as indies, self-produced / unsigned bands. Interesting, but they are signed to a record label, so that's a little bit confusing. Okay, let me make sure this... Okay, nice. I think that's the right title. Yep. Oh, why did I say that so loudly? Sorry. Okay, put this here. Hide it. Okay, 3 more. This title. Alrighty. Guess I gotta save another version. Okay, saved. What about... Nice, that's correct. What's the other one? Okay, that one. Nice. Okay, 3 more titles. Then we can finally get into this. Wait, what was the... To escape. Okay. Ooh, the colors of that kind of hurt my eyes a little bit. Okay. Second to last. Sure. There we go. That is a really big image. Go. Finally. Last. Talked about this book a little bit. There we go. Whew. Last one. Okay. Now I can grab my iPad and read everything. Actually, you know what? I'll just read it on my computer. Just get rid of these tabs. Okay. Open up Goodreads, Storygraph. Of course, Storygraph loads faster than Goodreads. Maybe I should open this on my iPad. First book I will be talking about is Burn the Sea by Mona Tawari. Or Tawari. Holy moly, why is it taking so long to load? Okay, maybe I'll read this first one on my iPad after all. Oh, just kidding, of course, it loaded in. Okay. There we go. I want to compare the descriptions. Is it the same? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Abaka Chauta never expected to be queen. The youngest of Ulal's two I want to make sure. Raj Kumaris, Abaka has spent years in rigorous combat training to become her sister's blade. But when the monstrous Porkugi attempt to lay claim to Ulal, Abaka's world and fate are upended. The Porkugi, giant half-men, half-snakes who attacked from the sea, haven't been seen in Ulal since their failed invasion more than 50 years ago. But now they're back with vengeance and a choice. Pay their tithes or suffer total devastation. Soon, Abaka's definitions of strength, subterfuge, and statecraft are put to the test. Will marriage to a neighboring king give her the Will marriage to a neighboring king give her the resources she needs to protect her people, or will she watch her homeland be crushed beneath the waves of would-be colonizers? A lush historical fantasy that reimagines the Portuguese attacks on South India in the 1500s and the fierce real-life queen story, Burn the Sea is an electrifying exaltation of female power and the value of freedom. I thought it was really cool to see something that is, I guess you can call it a genre-bending story that mixes historical fiction and fantasy. I think that's what really interested me in this. This, and I think the sea, what is it? The sea hides its dead. So both some water-centered stories, and then I thought the historical aspects of this being based on actual events that happened in the past was super interesting as well. Looking at the cover art, I remember when I was like zooming into it when I first saved the image, I thought it was really beautiful because there's like a really nice like painterly effect. It feels like this was like painted with watercolors, and I really like the way the text kind of just like looks wavy too. At the top it like matches with like the smoke coming out on the top of the cover. And then I thought it was kind of funny because I was looking at it, I just thought it was like a cloud of smoke, but it's a cloud of smoke that looks like the monsters that are trying to invade Abaka's home. Serpents. Yeah, Yeah, and then it feels more flowy and watery with the word sea near the Abaka's gown that she's wearing. I think the instrument that she's holding in her hands is a sitar. I might be wrong. But yeah, very, very interested. I'm wondering what the dynamics of the political marriage will be like with the neighboring king that is talked about in this description. I just realized, okay, maybe I'll look up at the cover. Yeah, there's like feathers that are falling down to her left. So I'm wondering if maybe the king, unless she is, maybe she has some sort of bird physical attributes to her and her kingdom, or maybe the king has something to do with like bird monster physical things. Oh my gosh, I'm saying that did not come out right. Maybe they're like bird people, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to get more into fantasy, and definitely prefer my fantasy to just be a standalone thing instead of like part of a series. So this is nice. Okay, on to the next book. Let me put it in. Is Greedy by Kali Kazumi. Excuse me, let me take a sip of water before I continue. Alrighty. Let's see. They will kill me soon, Edward Cook thinks. When the Yakuza are unable to collect what he owes, Ed realizes that they'll go after his wife and child next. Broke, desperate, and unemployed, he stumbles upon an unusual chef wanted, private chef needed for a high-profile businesswoman. 1 million yen per day. Ed accepts the job. He hasn't earned any Michelin stars, but he knows his way around the kitchen. Leaving his life in Tokyo behind, he departs for an opulent estate in the mountains owned by Hazeline Yamamoto, his enigmatic and reclusive benefactor, a disgraced socialite with a predator's smile and an exacting palate. Hazeline? I'm not sure if it's Hazeline or Hazeline, but just gonna say Hazeline for now. Hazeline's world is one of taste, connoisseurship, and experimentation. She is a certified gourmand. But when you can afford filet mignon for every meal, you begin to seek out the strange and forbidden. The closer Ed gets to Hazeline and a brighter future that she promises, if only he remains loyal, the closer he is to realizing the chilling truth about her altruism. In this shadow world of unimaginable wealth, there are worse monsters than two-bit gangsters. The wind blowing through Hazeline's home carries the sound of screaming, and Ed finds himself feeding all kinds of beasts. So it's like, then it's saying that it's compared, it's book comparisons are, well, no, parasite, but comparisons what's it called? Comp titles. Comp titles for Parasite, and the menu. That's definitely very interesting. Very interesting comp titles. But yeah, I like reading food-centric stuff, especially if it's like involved with horror and stuff as well. So I'm very much excited to seeing how the food descriptions will be like in this book. Okay, let me Grady. Yeah, looking at it now. Oh, not suitable for vegetarians. So it's kind of like playing on like NSFW, but it's NSFV. Guessing maybe Hazeline probably likes eating a lot of meat. And then this plate is like broken apart at some points, and I'm guessing at the center is an Oni mask. And then there's like food. There's like ingredients like I think that's garlic, peppercorns, thyme, some kind of herb, leaf, chili pepper. I don't know what that kind of looks like. Maybe a sweet potato on the top right. Pepper, more pepper. Oh, I guess it just kind of repeats. Thyme again. Another kind of herb, parsley or cilantro maybe, and then shallot, a cut shallot on the bottom center. Kind of hurts your eyes a little bit looking at the color, the neon pink color of the cover for so long. Oh my god. How many pages? Okay, 304. A little bit on the short end for book pages. But yeah, definitely looking forward to this. More, maybe the kind of book that foodies will probably enjoy reading, perhaps, if they like horror too. I think it's also labeled as a thriller as well. Okay, there we go. Next, full form. The year is 1899, and Sonia Wilson is a scientific illustrator without work, prospects, or hope. When the reclusive Dr. Howder offers her a position illustrating his vast collection of insects, Sonia jumps at the chance to move to his North Carolina manor house and put her talents to use. But soon enough, she finds that there are darker things at work than the Carolina woods. What happened to her predecessor, Howder's wife? Why are animals acting so strangely, and what is behind the peculiar local whispers about blood thieves? With the aid of the housekeeper and a local healer, Sonia discovers that Howder's entomological... Oh my goodness. Entomological... Oh my god. Why is this so hard to say? Entomological studies have taken him down a dark road full of parasitic maggots that burrow into human flesh, and that his monstrous experiments may grow to encompass his newest illustrator as well. So, yeah. Entomology is the study of insects. So, a very bug-centric horror book. I feel like this one, I think... feels a little bit similar to kind of the setting for What Moves the Dead that she wrote a few years ago. Or maybe inspirations for the one of the stories Edgar Allan Poe wrote, like the fall of the House of Usher. It's giving me a little bit of that vibe as well. Wolfworm. Let me take a look-see at the cover. Oh god. I didn't get a good look at what was going on with the plant imagery. Oh my god. It looks like the flowers kind of look like hibiscus flowers. And there's like, it's like the skeletal. Excuse me for a moment. Back to what I was saying, like kind of like the skeletal remains of insects, but also there's like razor teeth on the other flower, and then there's like cocoon, and then there's like a bug that comes out. Ooh, kind of gross. Oh man, and the leaves. Oh my god, it has the maggots that were talked about in the description. Ooh, ugh. That makes me feel a little bit squirmy. I'm usually fine with bug imagery when it comes to like descriptions in books, but ooh, I cannot look at stuff like maggots in like pictures and stuff. It's way too gross for me, but I'm okay with reading about it. But yeah, definitely one of those bug horror books. I'll move on to the next one. Here's the one whose cover I'm not very sure about. I'm not sure if this is just an alternate cover or this is a cover that is for the UK edition. I really don't know, because the one that I usually see is like a green, like a magical green door. Excuse me. Okay, the burp finally let loose. But yeah, I think I prefer this cover over the door, even though there's both flowery imagery in the cover. Yeah. And then this one has a field mouse. Is that what it is? I think that's interesting. You mostly see flowers in the one with the door. It definitely gives more of a fairy feel since this is a fairy book. In the bolded text, should I read all of that? Wait. Like, okay, it's not like advertising, because sometimes they're just like giving praise to the book or the author. Fairies disappeared over 100 years ago as suddenly as slipping through a doorway. It was only the very foolish or the very determined who held out hope for their return. Welcome to Thistlemarsh, a ramshackle estate where an impoverished orphan and a beguiling fairy collide in an enchanting novel of love, of love, revenge, and ruin. In the wake of World War I, the world is a decidedly unmagical place for Mouse Dune. Mouse Dun? Maybe? Mouse Dun? She once dreamed of becoming a fairy anthropologist, but with one telegram, her world shattered. At the Battle of the Somme, I think that's how you pronounce that. At the Battle of the Somme, her cousin's body disappeared into the mud, and her brother was left with debilitating shell shock. It was time, she knew, to put aside childish dreams. When Mouse receives news... Oh my gosh. Excuse me, let me try that again. When Mouse receives news that her uncle has left her the fairy blessed Thistlemarsh Hall, a dilapidated manor in the English countryside, she must leave her brother's side and return to her childhood home to claim her birthright. But there is a catch in her uncle's... Oh, I think there's something missing in this description. Will? But there is a catch in her uncle's will. If Mouse does not rehabilitate the crumbling house, in 1 month's time she will forfeit her inheritance and any hope of caring for her brother. It quickly becomes clear it's impossible to repair the manor in the allotted time until a mysterious fairy appears with a proposition. He offers to restore Thistlemarsh for a price. Mouse knows better than to trust a fairy, especially one so insufferably handsome and arrogant, but she is out of options. There are dark and magical forces at work in the house, and Mouse must confront the ghosts of her past and the secrets of her heart, or lose Thistlemarsh and herself in the process. Ooh, oh my god. That is a lot of words to read, and I almost did not have enough breath to finish all that. This I feel like this might be a hit or miss, possibly. But I still wanted to put this on my most anticipated list because I had a really good experience reading a fairy book in the past. What was that book? I think I probably gave it a 5-star. Let me see. I think it was like 2023 that I read. Yeah. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I still need to finish that. I think it's a trilogy. So I need to finish Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. And then I'm assuming is the last book, Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. Yeah, I did give that 5 stars. Okay, now I know why there's a little mouse on the front of this cover. I think that's supposed to be maybe kind of like imagery for the main character, kind of a little bit on the nose. Also, maybe this is a little bit rude, but who names their kid Mouse? Kind of feel bad for the main character. Why did her parents name her that? You actually see the manor. You only see the front door in the green cover, and then this one you actually see the manor, and it looks rather nice. There's like flowers growing in vines, but yeah, there's like serpent imagery. Maybe the fairy is supposed to be a serpent, since he's supposed to be like a trickster. Like a conniving trickster. And then like the mouse, maybe the fairy is actually the mouse. I don't know. The mouse has like a ring in its mouth, and then there's like a bee eating some nectar from the flower. Yeah, I definitely do prefer this cover over the green one. But I guess the vibes would be more accurate with the green cover, because I don't think this book is as lighthearted as this cover makes it to be, because there's probably going to be like discussions about like PTSD from like what's happening with Mouse's brother, and then whatever happened to her cousin. Just probably something to do with magic, since this is a romantasy. Romantasy, historical fiction, adult. Yeah, I want to try reading more romantasy books, so we will see how this book goes for me. But yeah, I do kind of have the feeling that this is probably gonna be either hit or miss. But I'm gonna be positive and I hope this book will work out for me. Yeah, and then there's a crescent moon I just noticed on this cover. I'm not sure what the symbolism of that is, but I will see when this book releases. Wow, April 23rd. Gonna be waiting a little bit on that. I thought this was one of the books that was probably going to be released in February or January. I have a few of those. But yeah, I will move on to the next one. This one, I was wondering a little bit why I put it on my most anticipated list. But then I read the description. I was like, oh yeah, that's why I put it. But yeah, get ready. Wow. Well, it's a little bit of an advertising blurb, but get ready to be blown away by this searing standalone space opera where corporate samurai fight beneath merciless stars and death is always a mere breath away. That's why I put this on. I was like, corporate samurai. That's a really cool twist on like, what if samurais still existed but they work in space now. Isako is a legendary swordswoman, but every legend has to come to an end. When her longtime client unexpectedly retires, she plans to follow, to walk out into the frozen wasteland of their planet with her head held high and her family enriched by her legacy. But when a competitor offers her a final mission, it's one she can't refuse. Soon she's thrust deep into a world of corporate espionage, duty-bound duels, and shadowy secrets. What she uncovers will change humanity's existence in the stars forever. A lot of stakes, especially with the last one. I was like, whoa, what's gonna happen that it determines the fate of humanity being in space, basically. But yeah, I thought this was super cool because, I don't know, the futuristic aspect of how samurais, I'm hoping that it's gonna be something that will be discussed in this book. Wait. I put the audiobook. I'll look it up on Storygraph. Okay, it's 448 pages. That's a pretty average amount of pages as well. And also it's blanking on the term. Another standalone sci-fi, fantasy, adult, space opera. I definitely want to read more space opera centric books. I do think I have a few on my TBR, so I will probably look through that to see what else I can read after I finish this one. Oh, this one will be published May 5th. Okay, actually, whoops. I should probably say what the release dates are of the books. Okay, Greedy by Kali Kazumi will be published in February 3rd. Thistlemarsh, right. Thistlemarsh, April 21st by Maria Corrigan. Oh my gosh, I forgot to say the name of the author. Like I said, this is a little bit of a unprepared, I'm just winging it kind of stream, so forgive me for not being as prepared for this. What else? Wolfworm, okay. Okay, Wolfworm will be published in March 24th, and this is written by T. Kingfisher. Burn the Sea, I think, is the last one. And Burn the Sea by Mona Tawari will be published in April 21st. Okay. There we go. Now we're all up to date. The next... Oh, I should talk about my opinion of the cover here. Not exactly the cover I was really expecting for this kind of book. Gives off very wintry vibes, which I wasn't expecting. I guess that's probably the weather, the season, and on the planet Isako lives on. But yeah, feels definitely doesn't really. I guess maybe in the background it feels kind of futuristic, but yeah, I don't know. I thought I would expect something a little bit different is all. It feels more like something you would probably want to read in the winter, I guess, is what I feel. I guess you can't really get the vibe that she's a samurai minus the sword that she's holding in her hand. But then again, I have to remember this is like the futuristic setting for a samurai, so she wouldn't be wearing the traditional kind of clothes samurai would be wearing either. Maybe unless that's something that the samurai in this book like to do. I don't know. I would need to read the book first before I know what exactly the culture is like for a samurai. Is like specifically in this book, at least. But yeah, I think that is all for this book. I'll move on to the next one, which is You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom, which I don't know why is still kind of a funny title for me, even though this is a horror book. But yeah, demons clash with inheritance claims as secrets unfold and violence is unleashed over 12 harrowing hours trapped in a house with the worst thing imaginable, family. When Papi Ramon if I pronounce it wrong, please forgive me. When Papi Ramon, the patriarch of the wealthy Abreu family, dies, he gives the family one last message in the will. One of you is... oh geez. I think I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. I'm so sorry. Either El Baca or El Bacha. The demon that I made a deal with. Get rid of them or you will be damned. Shiomara, the uncontested favorite of Papi Ramon, and therefore the least liked in the family, watches as everyone dismisses this as the joke of a senile old man and demands the lawyer obtain the previous will Papi wrote. While the lawyer drives back to his office, a storm breaks out, forcing the entire family, Shiomara's aunts and uncles and cousins, to remain in the house. And the words of Papi's will hang over their heads even heavier than the rain clouds. Over the course of the night, scandal after scandal is revealed to the public about the family. Suddenly, a tense few hours of surviving her family turns into a vicious night of recrimination, violence, accusations, and murder. Shiomara is faced with an impossible task, a brute of demon and somehow kill it or excise the ghosts that linger within her own family. And the clock is ticking. What does that word mean? Recrimination. Oh my god. Holy cow. An accusation in response to one from someone else. Okay, basically accusing someone of something. Let me get before I give thoughts. I was surprised. Oh, this also, yeah, this is also labeled gothic. So I'm kind of interested in what the gothic aspect of this book will be about. Definitely very, usually, family-centric books are a hit or miss, but I don't know why. The plot of this really intrigued me for some reason. Maybe it's because we're basically following the main character who is like the black sheep of the family. And it's very interesting because I feel like usually when books take on like the black sheep, it's usually someone that is like, I guess, blames. I mean, I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of blaming and accusing happening in this book, but it's kind of like the black sheep would be somebody that's like universally disliked, but there is somebody that likes the main character, but he already passed away, so that's probably gonna be an interesting subject that will be explored in this book, I'm going to assume. So I kind of really, that really intrigued me because there's like, it feels a little bit more realistic that there's at least, I'm sure there might be some other family members that might like the main character, I'm guessing as well. I don't think it's going to be just like all the living family. Well, maybe the main character is hated by all of her living relatives, but hopefully there's a couple who are on her side too. But who knows? Yeah, there's like going to be demonic aspects because they're kind of like on a time. There's like a, what is it? Not a, like the clock is ticking. Because like if they don't get rid of the demon, then I'm going to guess that everybody in the family is gonna be like gone. They're all going to go to hell, maybe, or something. I don't know. We'll see. Or they're all going to. Oh yeah, the father, the patriarch figure. He says like, "You'll all be damned," but that's super vague. We're not exactly sure what's gonna happen. But yeah, what's going? Also, I'm kind of curious. I guess I forgot about the part about the lawyer. So how is the lawyer going to be coming back? Because there's of course the storm breaking out and stuff. I'm guessing he has to drive back by car to the family estate. That sucks for him. I really like how this book cover is designed. It feels very retro now that I'm looking at more closely. There's like purposeful marks of like grit, like little white flecks that kind of makes the book look older than it really is. And I really like the simplistic way like the house is like drawn, and it actually kind of looks kind of cute because like the windows are the eyes and it looks like it's kind of like smiling, even though it's supposed to be like, I guess, demonic imagery with the horns and the cartoonish tail coming out from the back. But I think it's kind of cute. And then the title is like kind of like a tongue-in-cheek sort of humorous thing, like what, that's really interesting because it's like the patriarch, but then it's like who is saying this, because somebody at some point is probably going to say something like, you should have been nicer to my mom. But then who's the mother figure that is talked about here, because we only know about the patriarch, which is Papi Ramon. So who is the matriarch or the mother figure that is talked about in the title. So I guess that's something that the reader will have to find out when they read this book, I suppose. It's a little bit of a short book, 256 pages, so I'm going to guess that the pacing of this book is going to be like really fast, which I like for thrillers. If you're going to write a thriller, I'm hoping that it will be fast-paced. But yeah, I think that is about it for this book. I'll move on to the next because my list is quite long. 23 books, if I remember correctly, yeah. I wanted it to be an even number, not an equal number. But, yeah. The last edition of About a Place in the Kinky Region. Oh, it seems like this book, the description is different. Whoa. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Interesting. I could have sworn that this was written differently before, but it's like it's updated for both Storygraph and Goodreads. What the heck? Well, October 2026. Lee Turner doesn't remember how or why he killed his college roommate. Okay, wow, that we're starting off super strong. The details are blurred and bloody. All he knows is he has to flee New York and go to the one place that might offer refuge, his father's new home in Japan, a house hidden by sword ferns and wild ginger. But something is terribly wrong with the house. No animals will come near it. The bedroom window isn't always a window, and a woman with a sword appears in the yard when night falls. October 1877. Sen is a young samurai in exile, hiding from the imperial soldiers in a house behind the sword ferns. A monster came home from war wearing her father's face, but Sen would do anything to please him, even turn her sword on her own mother. She knows the soldiers will soon slaughter her whole... Oh my gosh. Let me try that again. She knows the soldiers will soon slaughter her whole family when she sees a terrible omen, a young foreign man who appears outside her window. Oh, one of these people is a ghost, and one of these stories is a lie. Something is hiding beneath the house of sword ferns, and Lee and Sen will soon wish they never unburied it. Yeah, I was talking about two timelines, and now the description specifically talks about the two timelines. That's very interesting. A foreign man. Now I'm wondering. That definitely makes this a little bit more intriguing, I guess, but I guess you can kind of tell from the description it's dual timelines. So there's going to be like some, maybe not exactly time travel, maybe there's definitely some timeline wonkiness going on with like the modern world and the past. Both set in October, which definitely adds to the spooky vibe of everything. I'm kind of curious what I thought the main character within the modern timeline was Asian as well, but I'm guessing not, unless I don't know. It specifically says a young foreign man. I don't know. We'll see. It's horror gothic, which makes sense because it's taking place in like a house. Not that, of course, all gothic centric books take place in a house, but a lot of them usually do. But then there's like weird things, of course, going on within the house. Okay, so it's gothic, horror, historical fiction, fantasy. I guess maybe the timeline stuff could be considered a fantastical element. Mythology, yeah. I guess I can talk more about the cover now that I'm talking about this book in particular. Let me get a good look at the cover. Yeah. I just think it's really weird. I guess I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like that the first part of the title, Japanese and Japanese Gothic, like the letters are cut off and then they're like way too close to the edge of like the book. I don't know what the stylistic choice of that was. It makes the book look cluttered in a not very good way. But other than that, I really like the way this cover looks. It's like drawn on like painting canvas paper, and it's like a traditional painting style of the house. And then of course I'm guessing there's the blood dripping down is like for in front of the mirror, not the mirror, oh my god, the window, but it looks like a door, so maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, oh yes, the book is written by Kylie Lee Baker. Oh crap, I think I forgot to mention the publication date for You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom. And I forgot, oh my gosh. Should have my mom. And I forgot to say the author's name too. You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom is written by Vincent Tirado. And it will come out on March 10th. And Japanese Gothic will be coming out in April 14th. And it's 352 pages. Yeah, besides the weird formatting of the text, it's a very intriguing cover art. And there's a lot of blood on the, oh my gosh, blood splatters on the trees, and of course on the path to the house. I also like the slashes because it has to do with like Sen's part of her perspective in the book. Yeah, I don't really understand what the that sounds kind of bad, but in the context of the story, I don't know what the murder of Lee's roommate has to do with the book. It feels a little bit out of place, but I'm sure there's probably going to be an interesting twist to that. Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say about this book other than I'm always up for reading a gothic book. And this one definitely intrigues me, I guess. With the mythology elements that will be present, I'm guessing, in this book. So I will move on to the next one. And I was looking up the cover for this because I didn't save it before. Mocha is also a real thing. It's the Korean term for hidden cameras or miniature spy cameras secretly and illegally installed, which unfortunately is still an ongoing problem in South Korea. Mocha, I'm not sure if I might be mispronouncing it, but yeah, Mocha by Monica Kim. Yeah, it says here in the bolded text too. Mocha Noun, the Korean term for spy cameras secretly and illegally installed, often to capture voyeuristic images and videos. Ooh, I think I'm going to mispronounce the main character's name. Oh geez, I am so sorry. Daye? Or Daye? No, Daye. I think that's how you say her name, possibly. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Daye can't believe her luck when she finds herself in a whirlwind romance of handsome, charismatic Hyujun, the heir to a multi-million-dollar fortune. But then a shocking revelation threatens. The couple has been caught on a spy cam amid Korea's growing mocha epidemic, and the video is all over the internet. When Hyujun flees the country to avoid the intense public scrutiny, Daye is left to grapple with the ramifications on her own, and the demons from her childhood, long dormant, begin to surface. Amid the chaos, she catches the attention of Junyun, a nerdy, introverted IT tech at work. Junyun harbors a dark secret. He has been spying on the women at work with his own hidden cameras. As Daye's life begins to unravel, she unknowingly becomes the sole target of Junyun's perverse obsession. When the facts surrounding the invasion of her privacy come to light, Daye is faced with the humiliating truth. Her pain and hurt turn to rage as she faces her past. Her desire for vengeance is insatiable, and she will not rest until the men who have wronged her have paid in blood. And it's a horror thriller, mystery thriller, contemporary, dark adult fiction. But yeah, definitely set horror book set in the real world. Not much else to see, but I'm very curious on how the revenge aspect from Daye's perspective goes about. I'm usually not one for books that have I guess female-centric rage in the aspect. I feel like it's a little bit difficult to do it with nuance because unfortunately it feels like most of the time it's okay. Why is my the head movement of my model? Oh, I think it's because I'm scratching my chin while I'm saying this. It feels pretty surface level because it mostly centers around the main character being really angry, and then she perpetuates the violence inflicted on her. But I guess it just doesn't go deeper than that. I want to say she takes revenge on the people who have wronged her, but I feel like it's very surface level because it's a female main character is angry at the injustice put upon her. She fights back with violence in her own way, and then she takes revenge on her abusers. And then it doesn't really go a lot into more of the nuanced aspect of why she feels this rage. I mean, of course we know about the reasoning. I'm not specifically talking about this book. I'm just saying what I think about female rage books in general. I'm hoping this will have a more interesting or nuanced take for the female rage centric book that I'm going to guess this is. And I like how sinister the cover is. There's the glow of the illegal camera, and then there's the title text hiding behind the vent. basically, guessing by the tile design, this is within a bathroom. And then of course there's like the blackish, the black redness of the blood seeping through, which gives it a very sinister horror vibe as well. Very simple kind of design for the cover, but I feel like it's very effective. And yeah, that is about it for my thoughts on this book. I will move on to the next. The Fox and the Devil. Wait. Mocha is written by Monica Kip, and it will be coming out in April 28th. And now I will talk about The Fox and the Devil by Kirsten White. Aniki? I'm not sure if the female main character's name is Aniki or Enki. I'm gonna go on a whim and think it's Aniki. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but yeah. Aniki has a complicated relationship with her father, Abraham Van Helsing, doctor, scientist, and madman devoted to studying vampires, up until the night she comes home to find him murdered, with a surreally beautiful woman looming over his body, a woman who leaves no trace behind other than the dreams and nightmares that plague Aniki every night. Spurred by her desire for vengeance and armed with the latest in forensic and investigatory techniques, Aniki puts together a team of detectives to catch her mysterious serial killer, because her father isn't the only inexplicably dead body. There's a trail of victims across Europe, and Aniki is certain they're all connected. But during the years spent relentlessly hunting the killer, Aniki keeps some crucial evidence to infuriatingly coy letters, addressed only to Aniki, occasionally soaked in blood, and always signed Diavola, Devil. The obsession is mutual, and all the more dangerous for it. The closer Aniki gets to a devil, though, the less sense the world makes. Maybe her father wasn't a madman after all. Diavola might be something much worse than a serial killer, and much harder to destroy, because as Aniki unearths more of Diavola's... Oh my gosh. Diavola's... like Diablo? Diavola... oh my goodness. Diavola? That sounds better, I guess. Diavola's tragic past, she suspects there's still a heart somewhere in that undead body. A heart that beats for Aniki alone. Ooh! Oh my gosh. Yeah. The advertising line is: an obsession with a beautiful serial killer entangles a vampire hunter's daughter in an immortal sapphic romance in this enthralling gothic fantasy. Whew. Oh boy. This is definitely one that I am very openly excited about, because there's horror elements, fantasy, vampires. I love vampire fiction. And then there's queer, LGBTQ plus elements, of course, with Aniki and Diavola. We don't know the vampire lady's name. Paranormal, historical fiction, and I guess talking about I'm not sure. I think Van Helsing was a real historical figure. I might be wrong. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. With always very excited to read vampire fiction with queer elements within it, of course, and this having to do with specifically sapphic romance, WLW, Willowa, I guess you could call it that as well. Let me look at Oh, what did I do? There. Okay, hopefully that didn't affect the stream. Okay, everything seems to be fine. Yeah, I think that, I guess, Anarchy is the one with fox imagery, and of course, the vampire character has demonic, devilish imagery for her. Oh, I guess we'll be in Paris at some point. I mean, I think that's the Eiffel Tower, but then there's like light coming out of the top of the tower. I really like the style. It feels like it's ink, like a very traditionally inked cover. Feels very retro with this specific art style. Then there's like emblem, flowery emblem imagery, rose, and then like bloody ink pens on the sides, and bells. I'm not sure what the bells have to do with this story. I guess I will find out once I get my hands on this book. Excuse me, sometime in the future. The Fox and the Devil will be published on March 10th. It's so green. Even the rose that's like on the top of the cover is green as well. And yeah, the thing that pops out the most is the fox, which is like a reddish orange color. Yeah, I'll find out. Yeah, I guess all I can say is that I will find out how all of this comes together once I read the book. Yeah, I think a lot of popular romantic pairings for like vampire stories are usually male/male or female/male, so it's nice to have one that's a woman-centered book. That's always a nice plus. The next book I have on my most anticipated list is The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. 400 pages. In the waning years of the Azalea dynasty, the emperor is dying, the land consumed by famine, and poetry magic lost to all except the powerful. Wei Ying is desperate. After the 5th death of a sibling, with her family and village on the brink of starvation, she will do anything to save those she loves, even offer herself as a concubine to the cruel heir of the beautiful and brutal Azalea house. Excuse me, oh my gosh, I think I need to take a sip of water. Okay, let me continue. But in a twist of fate, the palace stands on the knife edge of civil war, with Wei trapped in its center, at the side of a violent prince. To survive, Wei must harden her heart, rely on her wit, and become dangerous herself, even if it means becoming a poet in a world where women are forbidden to read, and composing the most powerful spell of all, a ballad of death and love. Oh, and then there's a warning about possible content warnings / trigger warnings. The Poet Empress is an epic fantasy that explores darker themes, subjects, and scenes that may not be suitable for all readers. Please see the author's content note at the beginning of the book. Well, I have to wait until I can read the book to know what the content warnings are. So this is fantasy, romance, adult, historical fiction, romantasy. I guess it's more of a dark romantasy if that warning is put at the end of the description. But yeah, I was at first really hooked on the concept of poetry magic. I wonder, so there's definitely going to be a magic system that will be explored in this book. I am also assuming this is a standalone. I think most of the books that I put on my most anticipated list that belong in the fantasy genre are mostly standalone fantasy books. Also this is another one of a romantasy, although I feel like it's definitely much more on the serious and dark side, especially when I take a closer look at the cover design as well. Definitely gives off the vibe of a dark sort of story. But yeah, I'm a little bit confused on who possibly is the male love interest. I'm guessing it's the prince, even though he sounds like a huge red flag. But yeah, I don't know. Taking a look at the cover art, so I'm going to guess, because this is said 2 times, the Azalea dynasty, and then the specific family that she becomes a concubine to, the Azalea house. These are azalea flowers, and then there's calligraphy, like a calligraphy scroll of what I'm assuming is poetry. I think this is her in the beginning. We are following her in her before she becomes an empress, and then the woman who is like, I guess I wouldn't say exactly the backdrop, but I guess it probably is the backdrop. I'm guessing this will be her in the future, wearing like this very intricate headdress and a very fancy and elegant robe, also of pearls sewn into the article of clothing as well. And then there's like flames licking at the bottom of the cover art as well. So something, maybe there's going to be a fire that happens somewhere in the book. I didn't notice before, there's birds, white birds. I think they're too small to be cranes. That's immediately what I thought. So maybe doves or pigeons? I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure it'll probably be some kind of symbolism within the book somewhere. But yeah, definitely court intrigue, one of my favorite kinds of elements for these kinds of books. So I'm guessing the magic system will also be like male dominated as well, because the women are not allowed to learn how to read, so I'm guessing most of the poetry magic will be wielded by men. But I'm sure we'll probably see some female poetry magic users too at some point as well. Of course, the main character, Wei Ying, will definitely be a wielder of this kind of magic at some point. I'm very curious on the process of her learning about the magic and She came from a village, so she may not know how to read in the beginning of the book. But yeah, we will see. Very curious on how the romance as well will be portrayed in this book. I'm hoping it's something along the lines of enemies to lovers, which is one of my one of my favorite kinds of romance for pairings, but we will see. He sounds like more than an unpleasant person, the prince, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, let us move on to the next book. The next book. Oh god, my stomach is grumbling. Oh my god. I'm sorry, that's really embarrassing. I literally ate dinner not too long ago. I don't know why I'm suddenly hungry again. Let's see. What the heck? Oh, the sea. Oh, I thought it was the sea buries its dead. The sea hides its dead. Really a very intriguing title. The Descent meets the ritual in a cult aquatic horror about a group of academics trapped in a sea cave who must reckon with eldritch horrors as they are forced to atone for their greatest sins. Atone or die. Grad student Carol has no idea what she wants to do with her life, but when an opportunity arises to act as a research assistant on an anthropological expedition for a professor and lover, Edward Beck, she doesn't hesitate. Beck assembles a team of academics and professionals to study the ancient sea-based cult of the Leviathan, and the expedition descends into the sea caves where the cult are said to have dwelt. But oh my goodness, let me try that again. Oh jeez, stomach is grumbling again. Oh my god. Stop! Jeez. But when the cave entrance collapses, trapping them inside, the expedition will find they are not alone in the darkness. Surrounded by strange artifacts and scattered bones, an ancient trial has been set in motion. One by one, the members of the expedition will be tested and forced to atone for their greatest sin, or die. Horror, fiction, adult, sci-fi, horror thriller, and also fantasy. Huh, interesting. Let's see how it's done. Let me take a look-see at the cover art. Ew, why am I on the UK version of this? Whoops. Okay. My god, my stomach keeps grumbling. What the heck? No! No, that's so embarrassing. No! I didn't think it was that loud. It never picked up my burps, so why is it picking up my grumbling stomach? But yeah, hi Joseph. God. It's super embarrassing. Ugh, why do I feel kind of lightheaded? Sheesh. But yeah, this kind of gives me the vibes of another horror book set in like the waters, but it has to do with mermaids. I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, maybe the eldritch beings are mermaids, but maybe not. That'd be interesting, but I'm guessing since this the cult that is talked about, the Leviathan, it's more like a serpentine, probably like serpent imageries. Imagery, not imageries. I don't even know if imageries is a word. Yeah. What is that book called again? Let's see. Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. Yeah, it kind of gives me vibes of that. But yeah, we will see. I kind of dipping my toes into more cult-centric books. So far they've been hits for me. I always like reading books about like researchers and professionals. Oh my god, oh my goodness. I had breakfast for dinner. But yeah, I had like a waffle with blueberries and strawberries on top. And yeah, I thought that was enough, but I guess my stomach thinks otherwise. So they're trapped in a cave of artifacts and stuff. Yeah, I like. We'll see how it goes. I feel like if you were a researcher and you go on like expeditions, you should be prepared to some point. But yeah, I feel like maybe they gravely underestimated how much they were supposed to be prepared for this trip. So we will see how that goes. There's definitely going to be some like relationship aspect between Carol. I'm guessing that's a nickname of like Caroline, Carol. I've never heard a character named Caroline go by Carol before, so that definitely was kind of interesting to see. And her lover, I'm curious onto why it's not like boyfriend or whatever, because usually lover has like, I don't personally like to think of it that way, but like lover is kind of like sort of like a forbidden aspect. Oh yeah, wait, she's a grad student, so there's like a power, there's an imbalanced power dynamic because it's a student-teacher relationship, that's why. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So I'm guessing there's definitely gonna be some relationship dynamics explored between Carol and Edward. So we'll see. Also, there's like kind of like a time is ticking. Time is limited because the members of the expedition are. I guess it's not a spoiler because it's in the description. They're gonna die one by one if they don't atone for their greatest sin. So we'll see how that goes about. I really like this cover. It's like who is that? There's like, it's obviously there's like eldritch, it's like the eldritch monster, and it's like, I like how there's like, it's like wave, like water imagery, and then there's like and then you see like the human eye looking like somewhat panicked within that. So maybe there's gonna be some transformation aspect happening with this book. Maybe some body horror elements getting explored as well. So we'll see. Definitely probably going to meet the cult quote unquote god at some point in this book, I'm going to guess, but who knows. The book is written by Megan Bontrager or Bontrager? I'm guessing it's Bontrager. And this will be published on July 14th. excited for this one. But I'm excited for all the books because they wouldn't be on my most anticipated list if not on my book list. Okay, what is next? Okay, this one, the cover of this really intrigues me. Oh, let me hide the other one very much. Reliquary. Also, I just really like the word in this title, Reliquary. Reliquary by Hannah F. Witten. Sometimes you just want to belong. When Claire's fiancé mysteriously dies of an unknown neurological illness, seemingly destroying her chances at the belonging she sought, she's prepared to sink back into the lonely life she lived before. Orphaned by a freak boating accident in her childhood, she never expected to find connection like she did with Elias anyway, even if sometimes that connection seemed more like something he felt obligated to than something he wanted. The relationship wasn't perfect, his coldness, his secrets, his strange aversion to the ocean. But what relationship is? When Elias's family reaches out, his incredibly wealthy family, from whom he was estranged, and invites Claire to a wake at their family home on a private island, Claire is given the chance to have connection again, to belong to something just like she's always wanted, just like Elias knew she was desperate to have. Even if their family is a little strange, even if their home built partially into the sea stirs up memories of the accident that killed her parents and sister, even if Ash, Elias's older brother, seems insistent on Claire leaving as soon as possible, Claire can't bring herself to be lonely again, and as the strange circumstances of Elias's familial connection with the sea becomes more and more apparent, her window for escape is rapidly closing. Does she even want to? Yeah, definitely a lot of... This definitely gives off a feeling of like psychological horror. Yeah, there's horror. It's labeled as horror, adult, gothic, fantasy, thriller, horror, thriller, fiction, paranormal, contemporary. I'm wondering if there's gonna be like maybe perhaps a romantic dynamic between Elias's brother and Claire, but yeah, definitely Claire has some lingering issues with belonging and such, which will definitely be I'm sure explored in this book. Elias seems kind of a sucky boyfriend. But yeah, she seems like she has attachment issues, Claire. Definitely family dynamics will be explored in this book as well. Another water-centric book. I'm realizing some of the books I've had are water-based, like The Sea Hides Its Dead, Burn the Sea. Oh crap, I missed a book. Okay, I need to go back and talk about it. I knew it. Oh gosh. It was the book that didn't have a cover. Okay, after this I will go back to that book. Yeah, definitely gothic elements once again. Yeah, we will see. Was it Hannah? Okay. Gonna take a look at the cover. There's definitely there's an unsettling feeling when I look at this cover. Very beautiful, despite that. Kind of also erotic as well, especially with the way, I'm guessing this is Claire, the woman posed here. There's her head is like tilted back in like ecstasy, so I'm guessing maybe there might be some erotic elements to this book, possibly. Yeah, seems like, yeah, this posing is like kind of like a, yeah, like a pleasurable angle of how this lady is posed. There's like a crack, like a, of course, noted specifically near her head. So I'm going to assume that's going to be related to the psychological elements that will be explored in this book. And then there's like the eerie imagery of the house with the glowing yellow window in the back. Yeah, I like how the her hair kind of just like dips and disappears into like the water near the bottom of the cover art. And then there's a coral by the R in reliquary. And then there's like a watery effect being displayed on the woman's body. So yeah, very, very intriguing. We'll see. I'm gonna count this one as water-based as well, with some possible horror-themed eroticism involved. Family ties, of course, gothic elements. Maybe this has to do with mermaids, possibly. But then I'm kind of like confused, like Elias is, it says his strange aversion to the ocean. So I really wonder what that could be about. We will see. This will be coming out later in the year at August 11th, so it'll be a while before I get to read that. But let's move on to the next book. Excuse me. When You Immigrate... Oh, Sublimation by Isabel J. Kim. When you immigrate, you leave a copy of yourself behind. One person enters their new country, the other stays trapped at home. Some instances keep in touch, call each other daily, keep their lives and minds in sync in the hopes of reintegrating and resuming a life as one person. Others, like Soyoung Rose Kang, Kang? I think it's Kang. Leave home at 10 and never speak to their other selves again. Rose in America never imagined going back to Korea until her grandfather dies, and her Korean instance calls her home for the funeral. When she arrives, she discovers that Soyoung plans to steal her body and live her life, whether Rose wants to reintegrate or not. Sublimation is a literary speculative fiction novel that pits the lives we choose against the lives we leave behind. It's an immigrant story like no other, capturing the longing for another life and twisting it into a dangerous game of cat and mouse. Yes, definitely want to read more sci-fi horror. This is sci-fi, horror, fantasy, adult fiction, speculative fiction. And yeah, 368 pages, and it will be coming out in June 2nd. I really, really dig the sci-fi elements of this, of immigration causing you to have different selves. Definitely a very, I think this will definitely put an interesting spin on definitely what the description says about the subject of immigration. And I am curious onto why I guess maybe you could call them a clone, but I guess for this they're termed as instances. Wondering why the instance wants to steal, I guess, the original Soyoung's life and take over it. So that will be that is definitely the main intrigue for this book for me. Also, I want to learn more about like how that happens, if like it's a specific technology that makes this phenomenon happen. Yeah. So those are the main two things as well. For this sublimation. Oh, okay. Sublimation is the transition of a substance directly from the solid to the gas state without passing through the liquid state. The verb form of sublimation is sublime, or less preferably, sublimate. Sublimate also refers to the product obtained by sublimation. Whoa. Okay. From the solid to the gas state. That's definitely going to be talked about in the novel, I'm sure. Also, there's something to do with sublimation in psychology? Whoa. Oh, a defense mechanism? Oh, I don't want to read the AI overview. Sublimation in psychology. A mature type of defense mechanism in which socially unacceptable impulses or idealizations are transformed into socially acceptable actions. Oh, interesting. I wasn't expecting. Dear Rika Forsyth, I have been silently listening in to your anticipated reads for the last 90 minutes, but it's time for me to go to bed. I am anxious to hear what you think when you finally get to reading them all. Good night, and thank you for the book chat. Oh, good night, Joseph. Hope you have a nice sleep. Yeah, you can definitely tune in to the VOD later, whenever you wish. But yeah. Feel free to let me know your opinions and thoughts once the VOD is up tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you for listening in. I really appreciate it. I didn't know that there would be a psychological aspect to this book, but that makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, sublimation book. Yeah, definitely like a retro, futuristic kind of book cover. Oh yeah, I have this on my thumbnail as well for dry ice. CO2 from solid to gas is an example of sublimation. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, two So Youngs. Oh, doppelgangers. Oh, what the heck? This is like another part of the description on the Tor Publishing Group. Oh wow. Doppelgangers, corporate intrigue, heartbreak, betrayal, and the harsh permanence of the border. Ooh, whoa. Yeah. I'm guessing like one of these is the real So Young, and one of them is the instance that's talked about. Yeah, not too much else to say. I like the repetition of the title in the background, and I like the color swatches that are put in the cover. But yeah, if you didn't know the description of the book, I guess this is a pretty vague cover art. Crap, I skipped that one book again. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, this book will be released in June 2nd. Okay, let me... Oh my god. Alright, now I'm on the book. This book, unfortunately, does not have a title. It does have a title. It doesn't have cover art. But yeah. I'm not... the author's name, I'm not sure if it's Callan or Kalen. There's no Y, so I'm guessing it's Callan. But yeah, it's Oil on Canvas by Callan Bayron. Or Bayron. Jasmine Peyton is glad that her mother is dead. Not that Antonia was much of a mother to begin with. Forced to endure alcohol-fueled rages her entire childhood, Jasmine escaped Antonia's abuse as a teenager and never looked back. Now she's an investigative journalist, is a mom herself, and has firmly put her past behind her when she gets the call to make arrangements for her deceased mother. Her hopes to quickly bury her and skip town are dashed when the police won't release her body, as Antonia is a suspect in a recent missing persons case. With nothing to do but wait for the detectives to work the case, Jasmine starts cleaning out Antonia's belongings when she discovers several unsettling, gruesome paintings that depict all manner of torture and a series of deranged letters in which Antonia admits to brutalizing inmates while she was the warden at the local prison. Trusting her journalistic instincts, Jasmine tracks down information about the now abandoned prison, convinced that it's still harboring deadly secrets tied to her mother's past. As she explores the bowels of the penitentiary, she uncovers the truth behind Antonia's obsession with one inmate and how they connect to her disturbed paintings. Ooh, okay. I think this is the author's debut into adult fiction, I believe. A queer black horror thriller about a woman returning to the upstate New York town in which she grew up in order to uncover the terrifying truth about her mother and a set of terrifying paintings. Very interesting because this... I don't think I actually read the description properly. I didn't realize this was more of like a detective kind of story, but that's pretty cool. I thought it was gonna be a little bit on like the historical fiction route because of like paintings, but it seems like the painting is more of an element to this story than what I initially thought. But yeah, I love detective mystery stories. I'm surprised mystery is not included within the genre labeling. So it's labeled as horror and adult, which I knew. But yeah, that's really cool. So we're following Jasmine, who is a detective, which is always awesome. I love reading things from the detective's POV. Yeah. I wonder. Her mom sounds like a huge mess, but yeah, what? Wow. So yeah, it seems like there's going to be definitely mother-daughter relationship dynamics getting explored. Obsession seems to be definitely a subject and element within this as well. Mystery, detective elements too. It's advertised to being queer, so that's always a plus. But yeah, I didn't realize this was... I don't know why. I thought it was going to be within a remote location, but I guess not. It's going to be located in the city, New York specifically. Unless it's going to be like out of city bounds, New York. But yeah, it's really cool and interesting. I wasn't expecting that at all. Oh, it's also... it's advertised as perfect for fans of Grady Hendrix and Riley Sager. Interesting that this book is compared to those two authors. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what the cover art will be revealed to be for the cover. But yeah, I think this might be like the first mystery kind of centric horror that I have on my list, which is always awesome. A nice surprise. But yeah, I will move on to the next book that has a cover already on it. I think this is labeled as a novella as well. Wow, very intriguing advertising blurb on the front, which says the Blair Witch Project means the ritual. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know what the ritual is. With a generous helping of the menu and morsel, a delicious folk horror novella perfect for fans of T. Kingfisher, Cassandra Caw, and Paul Tremblay. I have read T. Kingfisher. I like her works. I have not read any of Cassandra Caw's work, but I really want to because I had a past anticipated read from them that I need to read. Thankfully, they write a lot of short stuff, so I will probably get to that sooner or later. Lou did what the children of parents of backbreaking, poor-paying jobs are supposed to do. Pulled up her bootstraps, went to college, and got an office job with coworkers who won't stop talking about their multi-level marketing scheme disguised as self-betterment. Determined to lift her ill mother out of poverty before it's too late, and in the spirit of climbing the corporate ladder, Lou accepts an assignment in the rural hills of Ohio. She quickly finds herself stranded in the middle of nowhere, with a sabotaged truck, a dog she's determined to keep safe, and something stalking her through the ancient Appalachian woods. If she can't escape the woods in time, she'll come face to face with the fact that her job isn't the only thing that wants to eat her alive. Morsel is a chilling testament to the burden of generational poverty and the all-consuming nature of capitalism, where the monster and the monstrous, in the end, are not the same. Morsel is written by Carter Keene. Genres is labeled as horror, novella, adult, fiction, thriller, LGBT, horror, thriller, and queer. 208 pages, and it will be published on April 14th. Carter Keene. Okay. Take a look. There we go. Nice. Actually, it kind of has a little bit of a similar vibe to T. Kingfisher's book. Wolfworm. It's like, yeah, this might be a book that also has stuff to do with bug horror. Even the type that bite the hand that feeds you. Yeah, there's like similar imagery with like rot and mushrooms and plants and stuff, with also a black backdrop as well. But yeah, definitely has to do with, I guess maybe this has found footage elements if it's like comparing the Blair Witch Project. So maybe a forest will be involved, wildlife, plant life, talks about capitalism, of course, and job market, Appalachia, which is also always a cool location for horror-centric books. I'm wondering what kind of job specifically Lou has. I'm wondering why she has to go to a rural location in Ohio. But I will see. Maybe has some themes of cannibalism as well. So I will see about that. Yeah. Not too much else to say about this book, but I'm really looking forward to it. There's Morsel, yeah. Probably has to do with food and such as well. Food-centric stuff. So we will see. Probably will be a bit gross. I'm going to assume there's going to be some body horror elements as well. Let's move on to the next. Victorians by Nick Cutter. I have not read anything by Nick Cutter before, but I know one of his books that had to do with like body horror. I think it's called The Troop. Yeah, I heard that one was really gross, so I kind of wanted to like stay away from that. But I think this is fine because I'm fine with like body horror when it has to do with like critiquing like the beauty industry and like beauty standards and such. Kind of giving more on the gross side, I'm guessing, with like maybe Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. It's kind of giving me the vibes of that. Maybe Rouge by Mona Awad. I still need to read that, but yeah, that also critiques like beauty standards and the beauty industry. On a remote island in the Canadian wilderness, 5 elderly volunteers from different walks of life are given a tantalizing offer to stall their biological clocks or even reverse them, restoring their lost youth, the chance to put death on pause, forever perhaps. The remarkable secret lies in the high-tech harnessing of an ancient and extraordinary biological agent, one with no conscience, yet possessed of a single-minded purpose that has helped it persist for eons, the will to survive. The dark heart of unbridled human ambition finds its apex in an unholy experiment that now tests the limits of both creator and subject, eclipsing all bounds of morality and sanity. Whew, a lot of big words being used in that description. The Dorians. Cutter. Okay. Yeah, definitely has stuff to do with parasites. I'm going to assume maybe possible bug imagery. Definitely, just by the title, I'm going to assume it has to do with probably some elements of the picture of Dorian Gray. I still need to read that book. So maybe I'll read that book before I read this, because there are probably gonna be some references to that book within this book. Maybe some eldritch horror, possibly. There's going to be some body horror involved. Sci-fi. Yeah, this is a horror sci-fi book. Always love those two genres blending together. But yeah, this time we're going to be following older main characters. So there's going to be 5 main characters. So that's definitely an interesting angle to critiquing like the subject of aging and being an older / elderly person. So that's definitely going to be very intriguing. Very curious on picking the Canadian wilderness, so on a Canadian island somewhere. So that's also interesting as well. Definitely a very intriguing picture. So that's definitely the parasite going on that person's back. And there's like wispy jellyfish. Oh, yes. Yeah, the jellyfish. The jellyfish is basically has been kind of like confirmed to be like an immortal animal creature. Yeah, okay, so maybe there's like eldritch horror talking about jellyfish. Cool. That's definitely a thing that I have not read or explored much, so that makes me even more curious and intrigued by this book. Yeah, not too much else to say. 400 pages, going to be released on May 19th. Yeah, definitely a very unique concept to both beauty standards, beauty industry, body horror. But yeah, moving on to City of Others by Jared Poon. City of Others. Gosh, I need to take a sip of water. Holy cow, my voice is giving out. Alrighty. Oh gosh. I'm a little bit confused. I think this possibly might be a series because it's labeled as the dues files #1. So this might not be a standalone book. In the sunny city of Singapore, the government takes care of everything, even the weird stuff. Benjamin To is a middle manager in the department for engagement of unusual stakeholders, DEUCE, tasked with taking care of the supernatural occurrences and people no one else wants to deal with. Ooh, excuse me. Oof. Definitely caught that burp before it entered the mic. So I took another sip of water. Okay. Tasked with taking care of the supernatural occurrences and people no one else wants to deal with, from restless ghosts to immortal gods to conniving jinn. Overworked and under-resourced, he has to juggle the demands of senior management, an elderly father, and a new boyfriend, all while trying to keep his team out of trouble. When an entire block of flats goes missing in the town of Clementi, drowned in an otherworldly wave, the information he needs to prevent another catastrophe lies in the Pasar Bayang, the shadow markets. But the demigod protector of the markets has neither forgotten nor forgiven their humiliation by the Singapore authorities decades ago. Ben will need to wrestle with the legacy of his government and the whispers of his own insecurities, navigating landscapes both urban and fantastical, both inside the soul and outside the real world, all so he can just do his goddamn job. So it's fantasy, queer, urban fantasy, adult, fiction, LGBT, romance, sci-fi, Asia, sci-fi fantasy. 368 pages, and it's already published on January 13th. I am looking forward to listening to the audiobook because, as I said earlier, the audiobook narrator is a favorite of mine. Let me look up who it is. City of Others. Okay, the narrator is David Lee Huynh. Yes, he narrated Flux, and I really enjoyed his narration of that very much. So I think I will look forward to this as well. Let me take a look at the cover. There we go. Yep. Yeah, this seems like a more lighthearted take on supernatural genre. I wasn't expecting the main character to already soon to be in a romantic relationship that fast, but yeah, we'll see. I usually don't like to read books where there's already an established couple because I get bored. I'm just like, I want to see the process of them getting into the relationship. I'm not really the biggest fan of already experiencing the relationship, being there and just getting used to the current antics of the relationship then. But that's just me. But yeah, definitely will have some cultural aspects to the supernatural beings present in this book. I'm also intrigued by the cute, I'm guessing, ghost cat that is on like the R for others. Has a cute little scarf on. I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be Ben's pet at some point. yeah, very cool. Looking forward to reading that. I also really like the urban fantasy subgenre of fantasy, so definitely would like to read more within that subgenre as well. Very curious how this will go about being a series. I thought this was a standalone, so we'll see. If I like this book a lot, I might continue with the series, but if not, I'll probably just leave it there. Yeah, there's like tentacles coming up in a city landscape. Some palm fronds on the bottom near the author's name. Waves and a circular, I'm not sure how, I know it's Asian iconography for maybe magic and stuff. But yeah, I think it's, yeah, you could tell. It definitely gives off a feeling of what the story is about. And I listened to a few minutes of a sneak peek of the audiobook on Spotify, and I have the audiobook reserved on Libby, so I'm just waiting for that to come in for me. I think in a few weeks. But yeah. This next one is Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. Natalie lives a traditional lifestyle. Her charming farmhouse is rustic. Her husband, a handsome cowboy, her 6 children, each more delightful than the last. So what if there are nannies and producers behind the scenes? Her kitchen, hiding industrial-grade fridges and ovens. Her husband, the Republican equivalent of a Kennedy. What Natalie's followers, all 8 million of them, don't know won't hurt them. And the angry women, the privileged Ivy League coastal elite haters who call her an anti-feminist iconoclast. They're sick with jealousy. Because Natalie isn't simply living the good life, she's living the ideal, and just so happens to be building an empire from it, until one morning she wakes up in a life that isn't hers. Her home, her husband, her children, they're all familiar, but something's off. Her kitchen is warmed by a sputtering fire rather than electricity, her children are dirty and strange, and her soft-handed husband is suddenly a competent farmer. Just yesterday, Natalie was curating photos of homemade jam for her Instagram, and now she's expected to haul firewood and hand-wash clothes until her fingers bleed. Has she become the unwitting star of a brutal reality show? Could it really be time travel? Is she being tested by God? By Satan? When Natalie suffers a brutal injury in the woods, she realizes 2 things. This is not her beautiful life, and she must escape by any means possible. A gripping, electrifying novel that is as darkly funny as it is frightening. Yesteryear is a gimlet-eyed look at tradition, fame, faith, and the grand performance of womanhood. I think it's interesting to follow an obviously dislikable main character, but I don't mind following unlikable main characters. And I am both rooting and also not rooting for this main character because I think she is ridiculous. So it's definitely a very interesting commentary on the trad wife phenomenon, which is, in my opinion, setting back feminism by a whole lot. The whole trad wife thing is kind of scary and insidious in my opinion. But yeah, this is definitely, I'm very interested and looking forward to seeing the commentary on that whole thing and seeing how the author goes about it. Not a very eye-catching cover, but yeah, the wobbliness definitely has to do with time travel, definitely. yeah, not too much else to say. I'm just very curious on what the conversation will be like and how this author will go about it. It's fiction, historical fiction, mystery, thriller, time travel, historical, contemporary, literary fiction. Oh, interesting. Mystery, thriller, and sci-fi. 400 pages, and it will be published on April 7th. This will be my first book going into Paul Tremblay. I know he's a pretty popular author in the horror scene, but I haven't really seen anything that really intrigues me until I saw this title. Meet Julia Flagg, a 20-something former semi-professional gamer living with her retired uncle and working 2 jobs she doesn't like. Out of the blue, her estranged mother, a CFO for one of the world's largest tech companies, offers her a temp job with a payday Julia can't refuse. One sham interview later, she's offered to chaperone a man in a vegetative state, one with proprietary AI implanted in his head, from California to the East Coast. To sum up in Julia's own, "You want me to remote control this dead dude across the country?" In a word, yes, but he's not dead. Meet a middle-aged man who wakes within a disorienting hellscape filled with monstrous grotesque queries. Worse than the fluid morphing reality in which he's trapped, he has no memory of who he is. He certainly doesn't remember getting the rabbit tattoo on his arm. He only knows that he must find a certain person. Who? He can't remember. Using a cell phone modeled after a video game controller, Julia fumblingly navigates the man she calls Bernie from the company campus and onto planes and through one of the largest airports in America. All the while, the man endures an ever-changing and worsening nightmare that offers clues as to who he was and to who he must track down. And as their 2 lives intertwine, Julia and Bernie become unlikely allies and fugitives on a collision course with reality. Definitely has something to do with the book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? With the title, Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep. So, Philip K. Dick meets the Coen brothers in this genre-bending near-future tech nightmare that is as bitingly funny as it is horrifically believable from the... there's gonna be rabbit imagery, I guess, from the rabbit tattoo. Video games will be involved. Yeah, definitely very interesting commentary. Definitely on AI, of course. Maybe some words, some commentary on video games as well. Yeah, I'm very curious on how it will all be blended together. It's horror, sci-fi, adult fiction, speculative fiction, sci-fi fantasy. 320 pages, and it will be published on June 30th. I like the sleek, sort of retro look of the cover art. I'm guessing this might be the eye of Bernie's, most likely. Yeah, definitely gives off a retro, futuristic feeling with this somewhat simplistic cover art. And there's like a rabbit bouncing in the eye as well. I really like it. It's simplistic, but it gets the job done. Very stylish. And then this next one is so different. How to lose a Goblin in 10 Days by Jesse Silva. When a halfling pansy and a goblin wren each think they've inherited the same cottage, they make a bargain. They'll live in the house together, and whoever is driven out first forfeits their ownership. Amidst forced proximity and cultural misunderstandings, the two begin to fall in love. But when the cottage and their communities are threatened by a common enemy, the duo must learn to trust each other and convince goblins and halflings to band together to oust the tall intruder. Definitely automatically this gives me very much D&D vibes. It's fantasy, romance, cozy fantasy, adult romantasy, queer, fiction, LGBT. 352 pages. Oh, it's already... Oh, I need to reserve a copy on Libby. It's already published on January 20th. But yeah... I wonder who the tall intruder is. Even from the cover art, definitely gives off cozy feeling. Oh, I just realized the leaves present are all shaped like hearts. That's so cute. Lanterns, axe. Yeah, I'm guessing this is the door of the house. And it feels like this is like a reference to like a popular romance movie. How to Lose... Yeah, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Yeah, it's definitely a parody on that movie. I think it's a romantic comedy. Yeah. Rom-com. Not too much else to say. I just think it's cute. A little bit different from what I usually read, but I want to dip my toes more into the romantasy genre. So, yeah. I like that there's LGBTQ plus queer elements with the pairing. And yeah, we will see. We'll see how this goes. Not too much else to say about it, but it seems super cute. This one is kind of odd. There's Never Die by Cho Yun, translated by Sung Ryu. When the fledgling coastal town of Yamu is rocked by a mass poisoning attack at the Seaview Park, the luxury high-rise meant to revitalize the city, Hua Young is one of many who lost family members, except she has never believed that her mother was poisoned. Now, fueled by grief and a desire for revenge, Hua Young spends her time hustling to save every penny and bring those responsible to justice. Across town, Doha wakes up in a teddy bear and realizes something sinister has taken his body. When fate brings Hua Young and Doha together, the two team up for a revenge quest that will shake the city's shiny facade to its rotten core. Horror, romance, adult fiction, translated fiction. This will be published on May 21st. This is described as a horror romance, which is interesting. So like a horror romance. I've never heard of that term before. Oh, this was also blurbed by Megan Bontrager, which is who is the author for The Sea Hides Its Dead. Very interesting. Also Kylie Lee Baker, who wrote Bat Eater and is also the author of Japanese Gothic, the perfect mix of horror and heart. Interesting. Ooh! I need to read Moonflow, a grotesque, hilarious, and heartfelt romp by Bitter Corella, author of Moonflow. A book that I put on my 2025 or 2024 anticipated list. I'm not sure. The title immediately hooked me, and I'm wondering what's the deal with the body swapping for Doha. Also everything that has to do with Hua Young as well. Everything about her is interesting too. So there's going to be a romance between these two characters, and yeah, there's definitely a revenge aspect. Maybe some environmental commentary as well. Capitalism as well. Talks about capitalism. So yeah, Very intrigued. Very pop. The art definitely has a very pop culture kind of art style to it. Very bright and colorful. Try not to look at it too much because it kind of strains my eyes. Despite it being very stylish and nice, but yeah, can't look at it too much. But yeah, holy moly, I'm losing a lot of steam, but thankfully we're almost done. Two more books till I'm finished. Next is Weaving Shaw by Heba Al-Wasiti or Heba Al-Wasiti. 3 years ago, Lena Al-Sayer awoke with a terrible power. She can see the dead. Since then, she has hidden herself from the world, knowing that if she ever reveals her curse, she will be locked away in an asylum. When her beloved brother Rami falls fatally ill, Lena is faced with a terrible choice. Let him die or buy the expensive medicine that will save his life by bartering the only valuable thing she has, her secret. The Saint of Silence, a ruthless merchant who trades in confessions and is shrouded in unearthly rumors of cruelty and power, accepts her bargain for a deadly price. Lena must find the ghost of Percival Avon, the last lord of Weavingshaw, or lose her freedom to the Saint forever. As Lena's search takes her and the Saint to Weavingshaw, she finds the estate and the surrounding moors to be living things, hungry for blood and sacrifice. Fighting against Weavingshaw's might, Lena must also fight her growing pull toward the enigmatic Saint himself, whose connection to Percival Avon remains a mystery. As the house begins to entomb them, time is running out on their desperate hunt for answers, for Lena has come to see that here in Weavingshaw the dead are not hushed, and some secrets are better left buried with them. Oh, this is so intriguing. I'm very, very excited for this. It's fantasy, gothic, romance, romantasy, adult, fantasy, romance, fiction, horror, paranormal. Oh, also sci-fi fantasy. Interesting. Very, simple cover art, to be honest, with such a elaborate and intriguing plot. Let me take a look-see. Yeah, it's just like the banner, and then there's Lena in the entranceway, like a skull and a hand imagery, flowing of golden blood, I'm assuming. There's a sword going through the manor as well. I'm always a sucker for merchant characters, so I'm kind of rooting for hopefully Lena and the Saint getting together, but yeah, we're not sure. Maybe she'll get with Percival Avon, but who knows. Always loving the gothic genre as well, romantasy. I'm very interested to see how those two will blend together. I hope it works out. Looking at Goodreads, it seems like there are favorable reviews with the 4.40 rating. 464 pages. Will be released on February 24th. Yeah, lots of paranormal and supernatural elements for sure. Another thing with having to like help out a ailing relative. So yeah, we will see. Definitely, probably a magic system will be explored. Maybe? I'm not exactly sure. Lena has the ability to see the dead. It's kind of like the magic that she has, or some sort of ability. Yeah, not too much else to say. I'm just super excited, and always nice to have lots of genre blending things together. I'm going to hope all of these elements work together, because I'm really, really intrigued and excited for this book. just move on to the last one, which I kind of talked about already a little bit. Oh, forgot the hi, teddy bears never die. About a place in the kinky region by Sesuji. I will also share pictures. Yeah, there's some pictures that I took of the book earlier today. One here. Okay, let me take another sip of water. Holy cow. This is probably the best picture, so I will keep this up. Smaller because it's kind of blocking my antenna. But yeah, this is pretty cool. There's like it's kind of a multimedia aspect to this book. I already read the description before, but I'll read it again. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of buzz for this book in the horror book Twitter. Translated by Michael Bliskowski. My friend is missing. When he disappeared, he'd been working on a magazine about the paranormal. His first real job as an editor. With almost no budget, he resorted to digging through back issues and unused research material, looking for inspiration. As he did, a terrifying truth began to emerge about a certain place in the kinky region. I have collected the relevant articles, interviews, and other materials in this book, and once you have understood everything, I would like to ask for your cooperation. I hope you will get in touch. Very vague description, indeed. Labeled as horror, mystery, fiction, Japanese literature, translated literature, light novel, mystery thriller, Asian literature, thriller, supernatural, 354 pages, already published on January 20th. I already read a few pages. It definitely gives off a little bit of the vibes of how I felt for the game when I watched like playthroughs of Silent Hill F a little bit. I don't think that's a spoiler describing like the vibes of a book. Hopefully not. But that's kind of my initial thoughts. Kind of rolled my eyes earlier, as I said, at the first short story, but it did get pretty unsettling and I was chilled after I finished reading it. Definitely has a folksy feeling. But yeah, it does feel a bit modern because it talks about like online and internet stuff. But yeah, this was originally published in Japan in 2023. But yeah, and then there's that also really cool, I think you should probably wait if you buy it. There's like a section in the back where you can see the supplemental source materials. I think you have to rip it open. I don't know how. I want to do it as gently and carefully as possible. But yeah, very excited to open up that section once I'm done reading that book. I would highly recommend getting the physical copy because I'm not sure how they're going to be able to convey the story, because there's there's like multimedia like stuff like pictures and such that'll be included in the book. So I don't know how they're going to convey that in audiobook format. So I would definitely encourage to get a physical or ebook copy of the book. Unfortunately, it's back ordered right now, so you'll have to wait a little bit. I'm very, very lucky that I pre-ordered this and I have my own physical copy, so I don't have to wait. I can just read this automatically now, as what I mean. But yeah, I am waiting to get really scared because I've seen a lot of reviews saying that it has scared the bejeebus out of people, giving them like really big heebie-jeebies. So I'm waiting. I've felt creeped out. I've gotten chills. Felt unsettled, but I haven't gotten full-blown scared yet. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that. I'm sure I will. This is my first foray into reading like Japanese horror literature, so very excited to see how this will be like as my introduction to Japanese horror in book form. So very much looking forward to that. This cover art, it's very simple, I feel, in terms of design. Yeah, you can see like a old torii gate in the back. There's a bridge surrounded by mountainous forest, lake, shrubbery, foliage in the front at the bottom, and then a very unsettling bold red shade for the sky. And then there's like a very grainy quality, so it looks like this was like sort of like, at least the plant, the foresty and the foliage, at least the nature parts of this picture seem like they were taken as a photo, because there's like a grainy quality to the photo used in this cover art. But yeah, I can't wait to continue reading this, and I will be very excited to review how this book is like to me. But yeah, I am not sure how long it will be until this will be out of the back order status. Yeah, because this is also a translated work as well, so I'm not sure how that will be. If it's like a regular work that was published originally in the US, I feel like the edition or copy should come back pretty quickly, but I am not sure about the logistics of like a translated work. So it might take a while until this might be brought back in stock for its physical copy. It's also a hardback as well, so it's a little more expensive. Usually I'm used to translated works being produced in like a paperback copy, so I would guess with more in like the $10 to maybe even $20 range. That's more on the expensive side if it's on the $20 range. But this hardback copy is originally $24. I got a little bit of a discount since I ordered it through Bookshop, so it was $22.34, I believe. And I also bought it through my local bookstore as well, so yeah, supporting Bookshop and my local bookstore. So always a good thing to support local businesses where you live. But yeah, as a horror fan of different mediums, I am very, very excited to continue reading this. I believe I am on page 10 if I remember, or I was on 34. I don't remember anymore, but yeah, going very well so far. I am very, very excited to continue. It's definitely fast-paced, very easy to read, simple writing, but it's like snappy, and also this is a writing style, while simplistic, I still very much enjoy. I think the translator did a really good job with the translation for this book. So yeah, that's my first thoughts about a place in the Kinki region, and yeah, we'll definitely update with my full review sometime soon in the future, hopefully near future. But yeah, I still need to do a wrap up for my 2025 reads, so maybe not in the near future, but yeah, I might write something about it on my Substack, so we will see. Let me just go in a brief just chatting section. A little bit of housekeeping. I'm not sure if I will be streaming the rest of the weekend. I'm a little bit worried when it comes to like internet connection and power because of the snowstorm that's about to come soon in my area. So we will see how I'll probably just do some offline editing work and writing for my Substack if that's the case. I have also linked my lore blog in the description below for my socials, so anybody who is curious about the lore of me, Eureka Forsyth, and the world in which I inhabit, feel free to check that out. As always, feel free to also follow me on Substack, because I will be doing a lot more writing, technical writing, maybe a little bit of creative writing. Most of the creative writing will probably be featured on my lore blog on WordPress, but yeah, that could also change in the future as well. So I would like to showcase more of my technical and creative writing skills in both my lore blog and my Substack newsletter called Musings of a Dreaming Android. So those are the socials I would like to promote the most. In regards to updates and stuff, I update both on my Blue Sky and Twitter. I'm not very active on Twitter, as I said before in my last stream. I mostly just lurk and just post my going live / announcement posts. But yeah, mostly if you don't mind me being chatty, you can follow me there on my I almost called it Blue Stack, on my Blue Sky. But yeah, any other socials are listed below in the description. Anything else? Just working on stuff in the background. Just a lot of stuff in the background that I'm working on, so I won't talk too much about that until the project is done. So yeah, that will be a surprise. Multiple surprises in the not near future, probably just the future. But yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of your day or night, wherever you may be in this big world. Please stay safe and warm in these upcoming days and weeks, if you live in the States, especially in the colder northern regions. But yeah, I don't think I have too much else to say. I'll just keep everything on a rain check. Just for updates, you can see my YouTube community posts, or Blue Sky, or Twitter for updates. So feel free to check on the latest news and stuff on those socials. And yeah, I think I will cut off this just chatting section here. Oh, and my voice is giving out. So sorry. Excuse me for a little bit. voice is cracking and giving out, so I should probably stop while I'm ahead. But yeah. Audio Unit 01, Eureka Forsyth, signing off. Until next time, bye bye! Oh wait, just wanted to add in really quickly, I almost forgot. Thank you so much for those who decided to tune in during the stream, and thank you for anyone who decides to watch this VOD later. I really appreciate it. Feel free to subscribe if you like on my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that. And for other things to help, it will be listed in the description below. But yeah, I would most likely upfront request if you could subscribe and or follow my Substack, which is also listed below as well. Thank you very much, and see you all soon. Bye bye.